And the reason I start and I make music like that is because, most importantly for me, even if you don't understand some of the punchlines, some of the narratives, some of the intricate details, can you leave with the feeling of what this was about? And if that's a yes, then I've done my job. Yo, Klat, it's the Last Cowboy, and this is Mirari. It's my Get to Know Me. The inspiration behind the Last Cowboy, essentially what it is it's a testament to my creativity, it's a testament to my perseverance through ups, downs, through the creative struggle. It's a recognition that I know that I'm unrelenting and that I'm gonna keep going. So the reason it is the Last Cowboy is because when I was making the tape and I was thinking about the meaning and the feeling of the tape and looking at the point I was in my career, I realized that I've seen so many people come and go in this creative field. Wrong or right, everyone's got their thing that they're trying to do. Everyone's got their aims, and some people, they give up after a while, Empathetically, you could be. But for me, I felt like, wow, I've seen so many people come and go, I really am the last man standing. Whenever I am cautious about making a move, it comes from Spike Griffiths, and he said, always take risks. And he said it to me. I remember we was in Porters, the old Porters, and we were talking about something. And Spike turned around and he said to me, Mirari, man, I like your style, you're different. Don't stop taking risks, always take risks. And it's stuck in my head whenever I'm like cautious, or like I'm like, is this idea too daring? I'm like, no, we could do it. Well, for me, it always starts from feeling. That's the first place I start from. How do I want a song to feel? How do I want whoever's listening to the song to feel? What do I want them to take away from it? So I start from that emotion and then I build it up. So sometimes the emotion comes from my everyday life. Sometimes it might come from other art that I'm inspired by. I might watch a film. But that's essentially where it all starts from. And the reason I start and I make music like that is because, most importantly for me, even if you don't understand some of the punchlines, some of the narratives, some of the intricate details, can you leave with the feeling of what this was about? And if that's a yes, then I've done my job. A product I live and die by is my MacBook. It is a 16-inch. It is the big boy. My life is on that MacBook. Whenever I go anywhere, I take my MacBook. If I need to record, my MacBook. If I need to edit, my MacBook. If I'm planning a shoot, my MacBook. One time we had a fire alarm. Everybody was running out. I went and I grabbed my MacBook. So yeah, I'd live by that. It's brilliant, man. It is weirdly, it's like being satisfied. It's like eating a good meal and it not like overfilling you, it not underfilling you. It's like it hitting your appetite just right, where you have like enough energy, enough motivation, everything. You don't feel sluggish. That's how it feels when that resonates. It's heartwarming. It's also a reason why I keep going, seeing that reaction. It's like, okay, like, this is making sense. People are starting to relate with what I've been trying to do over these last years, and it's really rewarding to see. I'd say the biggest influence is, obviously, one, being a Nigerian, growing up in Lagos. Lagos is like a dramatic place. Even like the Yoruba language, it's like a dramatic language. So when I make art, when I make music, weirdly enough, there's a theatrical element to it that I think it's kind of ingrained in me from being a Nigerian. And I think that helps me actually stand out. It's never, one thing's for sure, you're either gonna like it or you're not gonna like it. And that's okay. I don't want you to be indifferent though. I think that's boring, that's stale. And I think that's what it's brought to my music. It's brought that level of, you're gonna take something away from this, whether it be good or bad. Right now, I'm listening to Romeo Must Die by Benson and Ruger. And I can't lie, Benson, his vocals are like, They're like butter. That's why I like it. Like, his actual texture of his voice is really cool. And they only actually say Real Mill on Style once in a song, but that's like my favorite bit. I always sing it. I wouldn't say I find a particular aspect more rewarding than the other, because they're all integral to telling the narrative. So the music's where I start. I always start there. And then the artwork and the videos and the visuals build the world in which the music sits in. That's where I always start. But I wouldn't say I like more one than the other. I definitely wouldn't. However, I would definitely say the most rewarding element of being so in the detail is that I'm able to see my exact vision executed. And it's brilliant, and it's really rewarding to go from inception, because I think it's so easy when people digest stuff, they don't understand, like, this was happening 18 months ago, and this started so long ago from a tiny little idea, and it's become all of this. So it's really great to see that process and to see my exact vision executed. The most fascinating place I've been to is definitely Berlin. The reason why, it's because it's such a stark difference to London, Cardiff, Nigeria, anywhere else that I've lived, Birmingham. It's really, really different. The style, aesthetically, the way they dress is very different. The way they party is also very different. Parties be going on for 4 or 5 nights in a row there. It was a really, really artistically interesting place. I think, obviously, given its cultural history, you know, the wars and stuff like that, art has become a foundation and a need and a must for the people there, and you really see it in their lives. I would say you got to start from a real place, whatever real means to you. I think oftentimes when people think about musicians, they hold them in a different light to how you might hold an author or a scriptwriter, you know? Those mediums are allowed a certain fictional element that people don't necessarily afford musicians. They want everything you're saying to be exactly your life. And that's impossible. That's not to say, you know, those fictional creators that create from a fictional place, the authors and whatever, and the script writers, that's not to say, even though the narrative is fictional, it's not coming from a real place. They're still pulling from something very real in order to be able to write something that resonates. So I think you've got to do the same as a musician. Every word doesn't have to be exactly real that's happened to you. But if you can pull from something that's very real to you, and if you can channel that thing that's very real to you, then the sky's the limit. See you later, Klat. It's the Cardiff Cowboy, Miz.